And so in these things, you see clearly the choice of society. You know, it blatantly, shamelessly chose, Satan over God. You see the choice that society has made, unanimously and united, like together, and I say that because, if you think about this fact, for instance, my situation, that, okay, everything that I stood for, has been, creating and building an empire for God, a godly empire, with just the pieces of my life that were left from the things I've gone through. And you could tell and you see in this situation that whereas, they, it's like, okay, when these people, when society, see clearly that, okay, it's certain people guilty and it's certain people innocent. I'm a victim. You feel me? I'm one of the blameless. So when they see that other situation, then they see what's happening to my life, for them to try to counsel me, anyway, in spite of knowing my blamelessness, just because others are guilty and they got exposed, so they counsel me along with the people who really need to be counseled. So that tells you right there that the country has actively chose Satan over God. This right here is an active effort and a unanimous decision to choose somebody out. You know what I'm saying? This black Christian artist right here, out of, everybody, and counsel me for absolutely no reason whatsoever. With my testimony being viral, showing my blamelessness, they trying to implicitly cancel me or disinvent me, exile me, excommunicate me, deprive my liberty, my freedom to even things like just employment. You know what I'm saying? They're doing all this informally, and they still harassing me to no end, like day and night, harassing me, imposing this on me relentlessly. You know what I'm saying? And what they're imposing on me is exile, excommunication. You feel me? And it's torture. And them knowing what I've gone through, having it proven, knowing that I didn't deserve even that what I was going through, and then knowing what I'm going through now, they're still allowing, the same things to happen to take place. Now, I made it very clear that, these influential figures that, have did, egregious things against the purposes of God, that I have no association with. I'm like, well, I don't have no defenses against them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't keep them from harassing my life or stalking me and things, but y'all can. You know what I'm saying? That's the point of me telling the whole world. So it's like, well, if they're still here, you feel me, then there is no law in the land. It's just that simple. The law has been nullified until further notice. There is no such thing as law. Because, if this can happen to somebody for doing nothing but following God, who the country claimed to be under, then the country has no foundation. You feel me? It's standing on nothing. This is not a situation. This is not a situation for a season. It's a permanent decision. You feel me? And this ain't just start happening. This was happening way back. But then, I look at through the perspective of other people. I'm like, yeah, they look at the big picture of everything. Those that know is like, well, yeah, what do I care? You right. It's like, why should I care? You feel me? That's a good question. You know what I mean? Because I learned, I can feel the suffering that the Lord, you know what I'm saying, to a small degree. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Just a small, tiny degree in that, to suffer, you feel me, for things that nobody care about. You know what I'm saying? Or that people should care about but don't care about. You know what I'm saying? It's a sacrifice and it's rough. And then reality set in that, that's what it is, You suffering for something that don't even matter to the people that you were taken through it for. You feel me? That's what I'm saying. Is to suffer for something that those who you were taken through it for don't even care about. That right there, I feel 100% where the Lord comes from. It's nothing worse. It's no worse feeling, And then to have them constantly compounding the situation, so it's like, well, because these people are responsible for these evils. Well, it's not like it's my first time telling the whole world this year. You know what I'm saying? I was talking about this exact same thing years ago. The same type of situation. The only thing was different with the circumstances. It was the same strategies, the same type of all this. And, you know, back then it wasn't as obvious, you know what I'm saying? Back then it wasn't as obvious who was responsible. Now, you know, these influential figures have like become like shameless, and they came like, they stepped all the way in the light. But it wasn't like this back then, you know what I'm saying? I was like fighting shadows back then, like 17, you know, 16, 15, 14, even 18. You feel me? I was like fighting shadows because nobody was, you know, as bold now as they were then. Yeah, I mean, nobody was as bold then as they are now. Now it's like, oh, this, you know what I'm saying, this and that was responsible. And nowadays, all of a sudden, it got to a point where, you know, it's like society just like decided to like come together and say that, oh yeah, it was this, oh yeah, by the way, you know, like in a, as, you know, as a matter of fact kind of way, be like, oh yeah, this person was doing this person did this. You know what I mean? That's, I mean, so what it was is society did, like, it was an intellectual way of trying to, it was just an intellectual way of rejecting God. You know what I'm saying? That's all that we seen, man. All this was an intellectual way of rejecting the Lord. You know, society unanimously decided that, you know what I mean? Because, well, I mean, what? God tested the people, man. God tested the people. It's influential figures that already set for hell for the things they did against the purposes of God. They know it in their hearts. You know what I'm saying? It's judgments of things waiting on them worse than the human mind can ever even comprehend. Things waiting on them they're going to have to go through and relive forever and ever and ever and ever and ever for all eternity. That's what's waiting on them when their heart stops. You feel me? But God, you know what I mean? That's in stone. That's in stone. These, you know, people that did this, they already know that they have no future or no hope or anything. So I mean, you know what I mean? That's not the ones who you put this kind of power in the hands of. Well, God tested the people. You know what I'm saying? They failed the test. He tested them for 26 years. You feel me? And then he tested them again. You know what I'm saying? Over, you know, many times throughout those years. And that's what it was, you know. So now, you know, it's a lot of weird stuff happening that people not even paying attention to. You feel me? But that's the situation, man. It's that's how it is, you know. I mean, I fear no evil. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, like, society, you know, it turned its back on God generally. You know what I'm saying? For you can just say the last 70 years, you know, and then, you know, the restoration plan it's just like society just consistently failed God. You know, just keep betraying God, you know, generally, you know. And this is one situation here that, you know, is particularly significant, you know, because it's the precursor for a whole lot of prophecy, supernatural, straight from God to come in the future. It's a precursor for a lot, like a lot of stuff that's finna happen, including the supernatural. I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, the world gonna get increasingly supernatural. I mean, like every day, like things go, because God is finna fall upon the world. Like, you know, as far as, you know, God is inclining to the world, because this is a situation that reached up to heaven. You know, it's so bad, you know. But I mean, it's stuff been going on before my time, but, you know, it's rarely been a situation that been this clear. You feel me? It's rarely been a situation that been this clear. Right. And so, I mean, the structures say that society is, you know, under God, then that's whose responsibility it is by any means to uphold that covenant, you know. But they break the covenant and the oath, you know, every year almost. And then their actions and their conduct nullifies the claim of faith. So, I mean, what can you expect, I mean, God to do, you know? You know, God, if you kill a baby, you know, for some monetary gain, I'm talking about not like just, you know what I mean? I'm talking about knowing if you know, people that, you know, people were following, you know what I'm saying? They knew serving a God incarnation, feel me, and all that. So, it's deeper than that. So those who were really behind the situation, and that's that, and the situation is the prevention of, God's plans for, good, restorer and stuff like that, which was going to be, it was going to work. It was definitely was going to work, the way God was going to do it. And those who, was really like, way back, looking at this situation, following it and all that, that's who you can blame for the future events, really. So, I mean, whole time they been fighting God, it failed the test, man.